Hello everyone. Today we'll discuss introduction part of highway engineering. So highway engineering introduction. First of all, we study different mode of transportation. Second, we'll study historical development of road construction. Third, we'll study highway development in India. And fourth, we'll study highway planning in India. So now we'll discuss different mode of transportation. So there are the four major modes of transportation: roadways or highways, railways, waterways, airways. The transportation by the air is the fastest among the four modes. Air travels also provide more comfort apart from saving in transportation time for passenger and the goods between the airports. Transportation by water is the slowest among the four modes, but this mode needs minimum energy to halt unit load through unit distance. The transportation by the water is possible between the ports, on the sea routes, or along the rivers, canals where the inland transportation facilities are available. The transportation along the railway track could be advantageous by the railway between the station both for the passenger and the goods, particularly for the long distance. These railway tracks could be served as arteries for transportation by the land, and the roads could serve as a feeder system for transportation to the interior parts and to the intermediate location between the railway stations. The energy requirement to haul unit load through unit distance by the railway is only a fraction, 1/4 to 1/6 of that required by road. Therefore, full advantage of this mode should be taken for the transportation for bulk goods along land where the railway facilities are available. The transportation by road is the only mode which could be give maximum service to one and all. This mode has also the maximum flexibility for travel with reference to routes, direction, time and speed of travel, etc. Though any mode of the road vehicle, it is possible to provide door-to-door services only by the road transport. The other three modes, viz. Railways, waterways and airways, have to depend on transportation by the roads for the services to and from their respective terminals, airports, harbors or stations. The road network is therefore needed not only to serve as a feeder system for the mode of transportation or to supplement them, but also to provide independent facilities for road travels by a well-planned network for road. Now we will discuss historical development of road construction. So Roman road. The main features of the Roman roads are: Roman roads were built straight regardless of gradient. Roman roads में gradient provide नहीं किया था. We can see in the diagram also they were flat. Surface was flat. They were built after the soft soil was removed and a hard stratum was reached. So basically इसमें क्या किया जाता था कि खुदाई की जाती थी. खुदाई करने के बाद जहाँ इनको हार्ड स्ट्रेटा मिलता था वहाँ से अपना कंस्ट्रक्शन स्टार्ट करते थे. द टोटल थिकनेस ऑफ द कंस्ट्रक्शन वाज एज हाई एज 0.75 to 1.2 meters at some places, even though the magnitude of wheel loads of animal drawn vehicles was very low. So रोमन रोड्स की ओवरऑल क्रस्ट थिकनेस जिसको हम बोल सकते हैं वो 0.75 से 1.2 मीटर तक होती थी. Now we can also see in the cross section total thickness 0.75 से 1.2 मीटर है. नीचे एक लेयर स्टोन्स की बिछाई जाती थी, उसके ऊपर जो है हार्ड सॉइल स्ट्रेटम होता था. साइड में इसमें कर्व स्टोन प्रोवाइड किए जाते थे, इसमें ग्रेडियंट कहीं भी प्रोवाइड नहीं किया जाता था. नाउ विल डिस्कस ट्रेसा गार्डे कंस्ट्रक्शन. ट्रेसा गार्डे कंस्ट्रक्शन, the subgrade was prepared and the layer of foundation store were laid on edge by hand. So हम डायग्राम में देख सकते हैं कि इसमें एक सबग्रेड बनाया जाता था नीचे. सबग्रेड के बाद इसमें जो होता है एक स्टोन की एक लेयर बनाई जाती थी और साइड में कर्व स्टोन इसमें भी प्रोवाइड किया जाता था. द कॉर्नर ऑफ दीज हैवी फाउंडेशन स्टोन वर हैमर एंड द इंटरसाइड फिल्ड विद द स्मॉलर स्टोन्स. ये जो स्टोन्स की लेयर जाती थी उसको हैमर किया जाता था, फिर इनके बीच में जो वॉइड्स होते थे इनमें जो है स्मॉलर साइज के स्टोन्स फिल किए जाते थे. The top bearing course was made of smaller stones and compacted to thickness of about 5 cm at the edges and gradually increases toward the center, giving the side slope 1 in 46 to the surface. The shoulder were also provided a cross slope to drain. So basically इसमें रोमन रोड्स ट्रेस गार्डे रोड कंस्ट्रक्शन में बेसिकली डिफरेंस क्या था, इसमें स्लोप भी प्रोवाइड किया जाता था shoulder as well as carriageway में. Metcalfe construction is more or less similar to Tres Guard construction. Now we'll discuss Telford construction. A level subgrade was prepared to design width of about 9 meter or a required width. Large foundation stones were laid with hand with their large face on the downside. So इसमें बेसिकली क्या किया जाता था कि बेस कोर्स में लार्ज स्टोन्स रखे जाते थे जिनका जो लार्जर फेस होता था टुवर्ड डाउन साइड होता था, टुवर्ड्स ग्राउंड साइड होता था. द इंटरसाइजेस बिटवीन फाउंडेशन स्टोन्स वर फिल्ड विद स्मॉलर स्टोन्स एंड चिपिंग एंड प्रॉपरली कॉम्पैक्टेड. इनके ऊपर जो है छोटे साइड के स्टोन्स डाले जाते थे, इनका अच्छे से कॉम्पैक्शन किया जाता था. सेंट्रल पोर्शन of about 5.5 meter width was covered with 2 layers of angular broken stones. हम जैसा डायग्राम में भी देख सकते हैं कि इसमें जो मेन कैरिज वे बोल सकते हैं इसको 5.5 मीटर के विड्थ के अप्रोक्सीमेट जो होता था was filled with 2 layers of angular broken stones and compacted thickness of 10 to 5 centimeter. A certain width about broken stone was covered by the compacted broken stone 15 centimeter thick in edges also. A binding layer of bearing course 4 cm thick was constructed on the top using gravels. Now we will discuss macadam construction. So that we can see the typical cross section of macadam construction as shown in the figure. The most important modification made in the macadam method with respect to the old methods are. Now हम देखेंगे कि इस macadam में पुरानी मेथड से क्या डिफरेंस थे. The importance of subgrade drainage and compaction were recognized, and so the subgrade was compacted and was prepared with the cross slope of 1 in 36. Macadam construction में subgrade को importance मिली, subgrade और इसमें subgrade bed level से ही slope provide किया जाता था 1 in 36 का. Macadam was the first person to suggest that heavy foundation stones are not at all necessary to be placed at the bottom layer of construction. He realized that the subgrade, being the lowest portion of the pavement, should be prepared properly and layer of smaller size broken stones placed at the bottom. According to Macadam could replace with advantages the heavy foundation stones. Though the total thickness of construction was less than the previous method, this technique could serve the purpose in a better way due to better load dispersion characteristics of compact broken stone aggregates of smaller size. The size of the broken stones for the top layer was decided based on the stability under the animal drawn vehicles. The pavement surface was also prepared with a cross slope of 1 in 36 drainage of surface water. The macadam method is the first method based on the scientific kind of thinking. It was realized that the stress due to wheel load of traffic gets decreased at the lower layers of the pavement, and therefore it is not necessary to provide the large and strong boulder stones as foundation or soling course at the lowest layer of the pavement. This method became very popular far and wide. Various subsequent imperious methods were based on the macadam construction, and some of the methods still used are known after his name, such as waterbound macadam, penetration macadam, bituminous macadam construction. Bituminous macadam construction, this kind of methods are still used in India now. Now we will see highway development in India. So Jacquard Committee and its recommendation. So after the First World War, motor vehicle using the roads increased, and this demand a better road network which can carry both bulk carts, traffic and motor vehicles. These existing roads were not capable to withstand the mixed traffic conditions. A resolution was passed by both chamber of the Indian Legislature 1927 for the appointment of a committee to examine the report on the question of road development in India. In response to the resolution, Indian Road Development Committee was appointed by the government with Mr. M.R. Jacquard as a chairman in 1927. The Jacquard Committee submitted a report by the year 1928. The most important recommendations made by the Jacquard Committee are, now we will see कि Jacquard Committee के recommendations क्या क्या थे. So the road development in countries should be considered as a national interest as this has become beyond the capacity of provisional government and local bodies. An extra tax should be levied on petrol from the road users to develop road development fund called Central Road Fund. A semi-official technical body should be formed to pool technical knowledge from various parts of the country and to act as an advisory body on various aspects of roads. A research organization should be instituted to carry out the research and development work and to be available for consultation. Most of the recommendations for Jacquard Committee were accepted by the government, and the major items were implemented subsequently. The Central Road Fund was formed by the year 1929. The semi-official technical body called the Indian Road Congress was formed in 1934, and the Central Road Research Institute was started in 1950. So हम in short एक बार फिर से देखेंगे. Indian Road Development Committee, that is Jacquard Committee, formed in 1927. Central Road Fund formed in 1929. Indian Road Congress formed in 1934, that is also called IRC. Central Road Research Institute, CRRI, 1950. Now we will see in detail Central Road Fund. So based on the authority of a resolution adopted by the Indian Legislature, the Central Road Fund CRF was formed on 1st March 1929. The consumers of petrol were charged an extra levy of 2.64 paisa per litre of petrol to build these road development fund. 30% of the annual revenue is to be retained as a central reserve, from which grants are to be given by the central government for meeting expenses on the administration of the road fund, road experiment and research on the road and bridge projects of the special importance. The balance 80% is to be allotted by the central government to the various states based on actual petrol consumption revenue collected. The account of the central road funds are maintained by Account General of Central Revenue, and the control on the expenditure is exercised by the road wing of Ministry of Transport. Recently, the rate of collection of the levy towards the CRF has been revised in order to augment the revenue under this fund. So basically the Central Road Fund was established for the research regarding roads and highways. Now we will see Indian Road Congress. So at the instance of the central government, a semi-official technical body known as the Indian Road Congress IRC was formed in 1934. This, it may be recalled, is the one of the main recommendations made by the Jacquard Committee. The Indian Road Congress was constituted to provide a forum for regular pooling of experience and idea on all matters affecting the planning, construction and maintenance of roads in India, to recommend standard specification and to provide a platform for the expression of professional opinion on matters relating to the road engineering, including such questions as those of organization and administration. The IRC has played an important role in the formulation of the 320-year road development plans in India. Now the Indian Road Congress has become an active body of the national importance, IRC, controlling specification, standardization, recommendations on material design and construction of roads and bridges. The IRC publishes journals, research publications, standard specification, guidelines, and the other special publication of various aspects of highway engineering. The technical activities of the IRC are mainly carried out by the Highway Research Board and several committee and subcommittees consisting of experts in each subject. Now we will see Motor Vehicle Act. So in 1930 the Motor Vehicle Act was brought into effect by Government of India to regulate the road traffic in the form of traffic laws, ordinance and regulations. The three phases primarily covered under are control of the driver, vehicle ownership and the vehicle operations on roads in traffic streams. The Motor Vehicle Act has been amended with several ordinances subsequently. Now we will see Central Road Research Institute. So in the year 1950, Central Road Research Institute CRRI was started at New Delhi for research in various aspects of highway engineering. It may be indicate that one of the recommendations of JACAR committee report was to set up a central organization for research and dissemination of information. The CRRI is one of the national laboratory of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. The institute is mainly engaged in applied research and offers technical advice to the state government and the industry on various problems concerning roads. Now we will see National Highway Act. In 1956, the National Highway Act was passed. The main feature of the act are the responsibility of development and maintenance of the national highway to be provisionally taken up by the central government. The central government to be empowered to declare any other highways as national highway or omit any of existing national highway from the list. Now we will see Highway Research Board. The Highway Research Board of Indian Road Congress was set up in 1973 with a view of give proper direction and guidelines to road research activities in India. The board is expected to act as a national body for coordination promotion of highway research. The Highway Research Board HRB has recommendations suitable financial allocation of research by central and the state government has chosen high priority research schemes for being taken up first. The objectives of highway research boards are to ascertain the nature and the extent of the research required, to correlate research information from various organizations in India and abroad with a view of exchange, publication and information on roads, to coordinate and conduct correlation services, to collect and disseminate results on research, channelize the consultative service. There are the three technical committees of HRB: identification, monitoring and research application, road research, evaluation and dissemination, bridge research, evaluation and dissemination. Now we will see National Transport Policy Committee. The Government of India appointed the National Transport Policy Committee (NTPC) in the year 1978 to prepare the comprehensive national transport policy for the country for the next decade. Also, in keeping view the objective and the priorities set out in the 5-year plans, the NTPC report was made available in the year 1980, and many of the major recommendations of these reports have been accepted by the Government of India. Some of the important recommendations by the NTPC reports related to the liberalization of sector, inclusion of transportation in the priority sector, optimal mix between railway and road transport based on the resource cost consideration and energy conservation. A number of suggestions were made on the road development. These includes the need to take into account the requirement of roads in rural, hilly and tribal areas of the next prospective roads development plans, in strengthening of national highway system, increasing in funds for the maintenance of roads, and to connect all the villages with all weather road, low cost roads within next 20 years. Separate recommendations were also made for various factors connected with the development and growth of the road transport by the year 2001. Now we will see highway planning in India. The first attempt for proper planning of the highway development program in India on a long-term basis was made at the Nagpur conference in 1943. After the completion of the Nagpur road plan target, the second 20-year plan was drawn for the period of 1961 to 1981, and the third 20-year road plan development plan for the period of 1981 to 2000 was approved only by the year 1984. So first 20-year road development plan was known as Nagpur road plan. Second 20-year road development plan also known as a Bombay road plan. Third 20-year road development plan is also known as Lucknow road plan. Please be remember. Now we will see Nagpur road plan for first 20-year road plan. The conference of the chief engineer held at Nagpur in 1943 finalized the first 20-year road development plan for the India called Nagpur plan for the period of 1943 to 1963. The road network in the country was classified into 5 categories wise: national highway, state highway, major districts highway, other district roads, and village roads. We will see later what is national highway, state highway, major district road, other district roads, and village roads. The recommendations were made for geometric standards of road, bridge specification, and highway organization. Two plan formula for finalize the Nagpur conference for deciding 2 categories of road length for the country as a whole as well as for individual areas like district. This was the first attempt for highway planning in India. The 2 plan formula assumed the star and grid pattern. We will see later what is star and grid pattern of road network. Hence the 2 formula are also called the star and grid formula. The total length for the first category or metal roads for national highway and state highway and the major district roads in kilometers is given by the formula NH plus SH plus MDR is equals to A upon 8 plus B upon 32 plus 1 upon 6 plus N plus 80 plus D minus R. Now we will see what is nomenclature in this formula. A stands for agriculture area in kilometer square, B stands for non-agriculture area in kilometer square, N stands for number of towns and villages with population range 2000 to 5000, T stands number of towns and villages with population over 5000. D development allowance of 15% of road length calculated to be provided for agriculture and industrial development during the next 20 years. R stands for existing length of railway tracks. The total length of secondary roads for the other district roads and village roads in kilometers given by the formula ODR plus VR is equals to 0.32 plus V plus 0.8 Q plus 1.6 P plus 3.2 S plus D. Now in this formula ODR means other district roads, VR means village roads, and V stands for number of villages with population 500 or less, Q stands for number of villages with population range 500 to 1000, P stands number of villages with population range 1000 to 2000, S stands number of villages with population range 2000 to 5000. D stands for development allowances of 15% for next 20 years. Silent feature. Now we will see silent features of Nagpur road plan. So the responsibility of construction maintenance of the national highway was assigned to the central government. It was a 20-year plan intended for the period of 1943 to 1963, aiming to provide for about 2 lakh kilometers of surface roads and remaining unsurfaced roads, so that when this target is reached, the total road length of 5,32,700 km with a density of about 16 of road length per 16 km per 100 km square area would be available in the country by the year 1963. The formula were based on star and the grid pattern of road network, but the existing regular pattern of the roads and obligatory points not fitting in the geometry pattern were to be given due consideration. The first category roads are meant to be provide main grid, bringing the furthest point in the development and agriculture area within 8 km of metal roads. The size of the grid of this category road in agriculture area would be 16 km, so that the maximum distance from the center is 8 km, and the average distance of the village from the metal road would be less than 3.2 km. In non-agriculture area, the size of the grid is of 64 km sides. The further distance from the center to the metal roads being 32 km. The length of the road of this category is governed by the area, particularly the agriculture area and the towns of the village with population greater than 2000. The second category roads are meant to provide internal road system linking small villages with the first category roads. Length of secondary categories worked out on the basis of the village of different population range of population less than 5000. An allowance of agriculture and industrial development during the next 20 years was estimated as a 15%, and this allowance was to be provided while calculating the road length for both the categories of the roads. The length of the railway tracks in the area was also considered in deciding the length of the first category roads. The length of the railway track is directly subtracted from the estimated road length of the metal roads. Means इस फॉर्मूला में टोटल लेंथ में रेलवे ट्रैक ऑल्सो कंसिडर्ड. जब हमको नेट हाईवे लेंथ निकालनी होती थी, रोड लेंथ निकालनी होती थी, उससे हमें रेलवे ट्रैक को घटाना होता है. द लेंथ ऑफ द वेरियस कैटेगरीज ऑफ रोड्स एज पर द टारगेट ऑफ नागपुर road plan of 1943-1963, the road length achieved by the year 1960, though the achievement for the total road length was higher than the planned target, the length of the national highway and the state highway achieved were lesser than the planned targets. Means इसमें जो टारगेट्स थे नेशनल हाईवे स्टेट हाईवेज के जो टारगेट्स थे वो तो अचीव नहीं हुए, बट जो अदर डिस्ट्रिक्ट रोड एमडीआर के जो टारगेट्स थे वो उनके जो अचीवमेंट्स थे हायर थे. सो द टोटल रोड लेंथ is covered more, but national and state highway की जो coverage थी वो कम थी. Now we will see second 20-year road plan, that is 1961 to 1981, also known as Lucknow road plan. The Nagpur road plan was intended for the period of 1943 to 1963, but the target road length was nearly completed earlier in the 1961, as shown in the previous article. The mainly because of the phases developed that took place in the country during the first 2 5-year plans. Hence the next long-term plan for the 20-year period commencing from 1916 was initiated by the IRC and was finalized by the subcommittee, and this was approved by the chief engineer. The secondary 20-year road development plan 1961 to 1981 is also called Bombay road plan. The second road plan investigates overall road length of kilometers by the year 1981. The cost of the plan has been worked out to rupees 5,200 crore based on the 1958 price level for a period of 20 years from 1961. Means second 20 year road plan का जो बजट था that is 5,200 crore rupees, और उसके जो बेस प्राइस है 1958 से लिए गए थे. 5 different formulas were framed to calculate the length of the national highway, state highway, major district roads, and other district roads and village roads. These 5 formulas are given below. So जो road length calculate करने के लिए formula यूज होता है हम उनको देखेंगे. National highway in kilometers is equals to A upon 64 plus B upon 80 plus C upon 96 plus 32K plus 8M plus D. Now national highway plus state highway in kilometers, A plus 20, B upon A upon 20 plus B upon 24 plus C upon 32 plus 48K plus 24M plus 11.2N plus 1.6P plus D. Now national highway plus state highway plus major district roads. So A upon 8 plus B upon 16 plus C upon 64, that is for national highway. 48K plus 24M plus 11.2N plus 9.6P plus 6.4 Q plus 2.4 R, that is for state highway plus major district roads, plus D, the national highway plus state highway, major district roads and other district roads. 3A upon 16 plus 3B upon 32 plus C upon 16 plus 48K plus 24M plus 11.2 N plus 9.6P plus 12.8Q plus 4R plus 0.8S plus 0.32T plus D. National highway, state highway, major district roads and other district roads plus village roads is equals to A upon 4 plus B upon 8 plus C upon 12 plus 48K plus 24M plus 11.2N plus 9.6P plus 12.8Q plus 5.9R plus 1.6S plus 0.64T plus 0.2V plus D. Now we'll see nomenclature for these formulas. A stands for development and agriculture area in kilometers, B stands for semi-development area, C stands underdeveloped area, K stands for number of towns in population over 1,00,000, M stands for number of towns with population range 1,00,000 and number of towns with population range from 50,000 to 20,000. P stands number of towns with population 20,000 to 10,000. Q stands number of towns with population range 10,000 to 500. R number of towns with population 5,000 to 2,000. S stands for number of towns with population 2,000 to 1,000. T stands for number of towns with population 1,000 to 500. V stands for number of towns with range below 500. D is equals to development allowance of 5% of the road length calculated for the further development in other frequencies. फर्स्ट 20 रोड प्लान में डेवलपमेंट अलाउंस टेकन 15%, यहाँ से 5% लिया गया है. नाउ वी सी साइलेंट फीचर ऑफ द सेकंड 20 ईयर रोड प्लान 1961-1981 लखनऊ रोड प्लान. दिस प्लान इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी ड्रॉन मोर साइंटिफिकली इन व्यू of development needed in underdeveloped areas. The target of this plan is to provide the road length of 32 km per 100 square kilometer area, which is almost double that achieved by the up to the year 1916, that is 16 km per 100 km square area. Maximum distance of any place in development or agriculture area would be 6.4 km from metal road, 2.4 km in any category of roads. Every town with population above 2,000 in plains and above 1,000 semi-hill areas and above 500 in hilly areas should be connected by a small metal roads. While calculating road lengths in hilly regions, any allowance up to 100% may be made in arriving at the road length. Hill with altitude above 2,300 meters may be ignored in calculating road length in view of the thin population. Expressway have also been considered in this plan, and 1,600 km of length has been included in the proposed target of the national highway. The length of the railway track is considered length independent of the road system, and hence it is not subjected to get the road length. So इस this plan में क्या है कि railway track length अलग से ली गई थी, इसलिए इसको जो है road length से घटाने की जरूरत नहीं थी. The development factor only 5% is provided for future development and unforeseen factors. Now we will see third 20-year road development plan 1981 to 2001, that is also known as Lucknow road plan. The third 20-year road development plan 1981 to 2000, also known as the Lucknow road plan, was finalized and the plan document was published by the year 1984. The major policies and objectives of this road plans are listed below. The future road development should be based on the revised classification of road system consisting of primary, secondary and tertiary road systems. We will see later primary, secondary and tertiary road system. The road network should be developed so as to preserve the rural oriented economy and to develop small town with all the essential facilities. All the villages with population 500 based on 1981 census should be connected by all weather roads by the end of this century. So we will see what is all weather roads and all that. Third point is the overall road density in the country should be increased to 82 km per 100 square kilometer area by the year 2001. The correspondent values of the planned road densities are 40 for hill areas of altitude up to 2100 meters above mean sea level and 15 km per square kilometer area for altitude above 2100 meters. The national highway network should be expanded from square grids of 100 km sides so that no part of the country is more than 50 km away from the national highway. The length of the state and the MDR required in a state or a region should be decided based on the both areas and the number of towns with population above 5,000 in the state or the region. The expressway should be constructed along the major traffic corridors to provide fast travel. All the towns and villages with population over 1500 should be connected by the major district roads MDR, and the villages with population 5000 1000 to 1500 by the other district roads. There should be a road within the distance of 3 km in plains and 5 km in hilly terrain connecting all villages groups of villages with population less than 500. The road should also be built in less industrialized areas to attract the growth of the industry. The long-term master plan for road development should be prepared at various levels, taluk, district, state and national levels. The road network should be scientifically decided, provide maximum utility. The existing road should be improved by rectifying the defects and the road geometrics, widening of the pavements, improving of the riding quality of the pavement surface and strengthening of the pavement surface structure to save the vehicle operation cost and thus the conserve energy. There should be improvement in environment quality and road safety. Now in our next video we will see different road patterns and classification of roads and highway geometrics. Thank you very much. Please do subscribe if and hit the like button if you like. Thank you very much.